Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about how I traveled to California for 1 week for under $1,500. Today I have tons of tips and tricks for you on traveling cheap and how I traveled to California for a week for under $1,500. Have them all written down in a notebook for you. All right. So my number one tip is going to be traveling with friends. The larger group of people that you have, the more you're able to split costs with them. So for example, for housing or rental cars, stuff like that, you're able to split the cost, and the more people you have, the cheaper it is per individual. So I would definitely recommend traveling with friends. The only thing that you have to think about for this is if you're traveling for a longer period of time, even just a week, you have to see who you can travel with for that long period of time. So if you have a few best friends, that's great. You just have to make sure that you're going to be able to live with them and be spending all of your time with them for at least a week. My next tip is going to be using Airbnb. So that is what me and my friends used when we traveled to California. 100% recommend. So more tips for using Airbnb. It's always cheaper than hotels. I compared so many times. I was looking for different hotels, but every single time I compared it back to the Airbnb price and how much it would be per person, it was way, way, way cheaper. So definitely recommend using that. Another tip for Airbnb is if you're staying in multiple places like we did, so Los Angeles and San Diego, we were only in Los Angeles for 2 nights. So we decided to compromise on the house a little bit, so not spend as much money on the house because we weren't going to be there that much. The first night we got in and then we had to go back to the airport to pick our friends up, and we just went grocery shopping. So we weren't really doing much anyways. And then for the second day, we weren't at the house at all. We were out exploring. So if you're not going to be at the house that much, then it's up to you whether you want to spend a lot of money on a super nice house or kind of compromise and get a little bit less of a nice house for a cheaper price. Alright, so my next tip is going to be is for flights. If you go onto a regular flights website and search up flights, they are always going to show you the most expensive flight because why wouldn't they? I mean, they're trying to make money off of you. So what I did when I was looking for flights is I opened up an incognito tab. That is the most important part of this. Airlines can track, the website can track where you've been looking into, so they'll show you the most expensive flights for the place that you're going. And that's not good. So one is opening an incognito tab. Number 2 is going to be the website that you use. So a couple that I used personally were Kayakcom and SkyScanner. So SkyScanner and Kayak.com, you put in the flight that you want and how many people and the dates that you want, and then it comes up with a list of every single airline and their prices for those flights. And it'll rank it for you according to the price. Or you can change it to more things, but you can add tons of different filters, like if you want to leave in the morning or more in the afternoon, or if you want a non-stop flight or have layovers, whatever you want to do, you can put it in there. My next tip for flights is going to be flexible. You are spending money to be on a plane, especially for such a long time if you're flying across the country, which is what we did. So we were flexible and we had layovers. Having layovers most of the time in your flight saves you a ton of money. And yes, does it suck to sit in the airport for a couple hours? Yes, it definitely does. But if you're saving a few $100s just to sit in the airport for like a couple hours, then why not? So my next tip is going to be planning out your visit. So before you get to your destination, if in this instance, California, you definitely want to have in mind some of the things that you want to do. So before we left, I looked into a ton of different activities that we could do, some free and some not free. So when we were in Los Angeles, the main things that we wanted to do in Los Angeles was your typical touristy things. So we wanted to see the Hollywood sign. There were a couple breakfast places that we wanted to try, ones with like huge pancakes and like the BuzzFeed video places that you see. We wanted to try a couple of those out, so we went there. We went to Santa Monica Pier, the Walk of Fame. There were just typical touristy stuff that we wanted to see. So most of those things were free. especially if you're just going somewhere and walking around. Most of the time it's free, and that's what we wanted to do, so we saved some money there. For San Diego, we had a pretty long drive. I believe it was a couple-hour drive between Los Angeles and San Diego. So I knew that between that point, nobody was going to want to be stuck in the car for that long. So I planned out a couple points in between the two cities that we could stop at and look at. So one of them was Seal Beach. That was incredible. So we were able to get out of the car, walk around, stretch our legs a little bit, and we also got to explore the beaches. There were some really cool like caves and obviously the seals. Fun fact, they do not smell good. It's really gross. In San Diego, the main things, we wanted to do a few different things. So one, we wanted to have a beach day and just relax. This is definitely, planning your visit is definitely going to depend on the type of people that you're traveling with. So for me, I like to, when I go somewhere, I like to just go and see as many things as I possibly can and before I leave. I love that experience, and to me that's energizing. But for some other people, when they go on vacation, they see it as relaxing. So you really want to be mindful of who you're traveling with and the type of people that you're traveling with, because that's going to plan out your visit more than you are. Things that we wanted to do in San Diego, we wanted to see the zoo. When you are planning big events for public places like that, you want to see if they have any group deals. That's another benefit of traveling with friends. So a lot of the things that we planned to do there were free. So we saved a lot of money there, which was great because we were able to have those experiences and have fun, but without shelling out a ton of money. Okay, so this is where your price can drastically increase. So I would suggest planning your meals, because there's this one place, it's super good burger place, but you can spend $20 just on lunch. And if you're eating 3 times a day, then that's $60 per day, that adds up. So I would suggest planning out your meals, leaving some room for being spontaneous. You want to be flexible, but have some of your meals planned out so that you don't spend a ton of money on food. If you are younger, it's going to be very difficult to rent a car. This car rental place that rents to kids under 25. So it's called At West Rent a Car. I had a great experience with them. So we went on there, we ended up renting a minivan. Yeah, I know, not your typical like going to California driving down the highway car, but it fit all of us and it was cheap enough, and our luggage, and it was cheap enough that we could all split it and everybody was okay with it. So the rental car was really easy. I was surprised, but it worked out really well. I love to travel, and there's going to be a lot more travel videos on here as I do travel. I'm not planning too many trips for 2018 just because we're going to like save our money. But 2019, I already have 3 trips that I'm planning on doing. We're going to see if I can swing them, because 2 of them, well actually all 3 of them are pretty big. So we're going to see if I can swing that with money, but if I do, it's going to be such an incredible experience, and I'm going to be doing a lot of little trips this year, so I'm definitely going to keep you guys updated with that. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe to this channel. Yeah, if you liked it. Bye.